It's a great day to be American. It's a great day to be a Christian. It's a great day to live in what I believe is the greatest country in all of the world. There is no country like the United States of America. I mean, you just go from one ocean to the next ocean. You go down from the plains to the mountains. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful country, beautiful nation. And the people are wonderful for the most part. The people are wonderful. I would say 99.9% of the people are wonderful. What the media and what the elites in Washington, D.C., and whenever I say elites in Washington, D.C., I'm not just referring to one particular party. You see, on the Democrat side and on the Republican side, there are elites in Washington. There are people that are trying to, they have their agenda, and they are pushing their agenda. And they work together for a large part. We have watched since 2016, we have watched the elites in Washington, D.C. try to destroy a man. We watched them try to destroy Donald Trump. I've talked many times on this show on God and Country, about how the left and how not just the left, but even some on the right, some of the Republicans are trying to destroy President-elect Donald Trump. I think Mitch McConnell is one of those men. Mitch McConnell has stood in the way of Donald Trump more than once, and he is still even going to try to stand in the way after the American people have spoken. The American people have made it very clear that we want change in Washington, D.C. We don't want to head in the direction that Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is trying to take America. We're going a different direction. 80 million people just said so. 80 million people just elected President-elect Donald Trump as the next president of the United States of America. We have the majority in the Senate. We have the majority in the House. The American people spoke. The American people spoke. And then you have people like Mitch McConnell in D.C. making his comments about the appointments and about all of this stuff that's happening. And Denzel Washington said this. I read this morning, that Denzel Washington said that the American people are being manipulated on both sides. And I agree. I agree. Now, there are Democrats who are manipulating their people on the Democrat side, and then there are Republicans on the Republican side that are manipulating the Republican people. And so one thing I'm going to make very clear today, I'm going to make very clear on where I stand on some of these key issues that we as Republicans need to keep pushing and fighting for. Listen, all because we have the White House and all because we have the Senate and all because we have the House does not mean that we just need to take it easy. We talked many times about this on God and Country, how you and I, even now more than ever, we need to be pushing and fighting for the things that we believe in. It is not time to get relaxed. It is not time to just sit back and take it easy. Don't you think for a second that the elites in Washington, D.C. are just going to let President-elect Donald Trump, the 47th president of the United States of America, don't you think that they're just going to roll over and just let him, get his agenda passed and get his agenda through? They are going to fight him every step of the way. And people like Mitch McConnell is going to be leading the charge. People like Nancy Pelosi is going to be leading the charge to try to stop him every step of the way. Those people, ladies and gentlemen, are the elites in Washington, D.C., and they are there. I cannot wait for Vivek Ramaswamy and for Elon Musk to get to D.C. and to start cutting back on some of this bureaucracy in D.C. and save the taxpayers millions and billions of dollars. Vivek said the other day that Elon Musk was taking a chainsaw to D.C., and I can't wait to see, what those two guys, what they do and what they come up with and the things they begin to cut. I think it's going to be a great thing. But don't you think that the elite in Washington, D.C. is just going to sit back and roll over and let Donald Trump do all of the things that Donald Trump wants to get through? It's not going to happen. They're going to fight him every step of the way. Let me make this very clear. The Republican Party just took the House, the Senate, and the White House. We did not do those things because of necessarily the leadership of the Republicans in Washington, D.C. Now, Mitch McConnell and those guys, they want you to think that, we had all these great victories because of them. No, sir. No, ma'am. Not even close. The American people went to the polls to vote for Donald Trump. The American people are sick and tired of the direction that Mitch McConnell, sick and tired of the direction that some of these elites in Washington, D.C. was taking this nation as far as this transgender garbage that is straight out of the pit of hell, this drag queen garbage that is straight out of the pit of hell. I mean, whenever you look at the wars that are happening all over the world, and the American people said, we are sick of the direction that they are leading this country, and we want change. And so millions and millions of Americans, over 80 million Americans, went to the polls to vote Donald Trump as the next president of the United States of America because we want the direction of this country changed. We don't want the same old, same old. We want the direction of this nation changed. We want people like Elon Musk to come in and to cut back on government. Yes, I don't agree with Elon Musk on everything, but I agree with him on this, that we need to cut taxes and we need to cut back government and we need to get rid of a lot of the bureaucrats in Washington, D.C., and not just in Washington, D.C., but in a lot of our states as well. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, you and I better be praying for this man. We better be praying for him because the elites are going to do everything they can to stop him. We just did not win the Senate, the House, and the White House because of people like Mitch McConnell and some of the Republicans in Washington, D.C. We won because the American people woke up and the American people said, we want change. And we went to the polls and we voted for change. We voted for Donald Trump to come in and to make that change. So people like Mitch McConnell and some of these other senators need to move out of the way and allow the American people, allow Donald Trump to make the changes and to do the things that he wants to do and that he said that he was going to do. And so I just want to make it clear that the Democrats, they lost because of their leadership in D.C. That's why they lost. And I hope that they keep on the same path that they're going. And the Republican Party, we won not because of the leadership in D.C., but we won because of Donald Trump's leadership. We won because people were there was thousands of people attending these rallies to see not Mitch McConnell, not to see a lot of these other people, but they were there to see Donald Trump, and they was there because they love our country. They love the United States of America. And whenever you watch every single rally, Donald Trump did almost 1,000 rallies, and you watch every single rally, there's American flags everywhere. I mean, it is Lee Greenwood singing whenever Donald Trump comes walking in. I get chill bumps even thinking about it. And I've been to many of his rallies and listened to Donald Trump speak, and it's about America and making America great again. And it's about America first. And you've got the music, and it's just pro-America. And that's what the American people, that's what we long for, and that's what we want. Listen, I love people in other countries. My church, we support missionaries in lots of countries. And I think it's a great and wonderful thing. But we could not be sending money to these other countries for missions if it wasn't for how well America's doing. And so it's important for America to do well for many reasons. Many reasons. And the American people, they made a statement on November 5th by sending Donald Trump back to the White House. I've said this many times, and I will continue to say this because I believe it's so important. I say it every single show. There will not be a show that you will not hear this. And that is your vote counts. Because, ladies and gentlemen, as I've been saying for the last however many years I've been on here screaming, I've been saying your vote counts, your vote counts, your vote counts. Listen, we're in a runoff election here in Mississippi. The election is 1 week from today, Tuesday, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. There will be 10% of the people that voted 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks will be from on the election. It will have been 3 weeks. There will be only 10% of the people that will come out and vote in that runoff election. Maybe even a little less, potentially a little bit more. That is sad in my opinion, because there's a lot of people not going to go to the polls because they don't realize just how important that their vote really is. Your vote does count. And I know many people bought into the lie. I know people that still didn't vote in this last presidential election because they said, our vote isn't going to count. And I try to tell them. I sent them this, and I would talk about it on the show, and I would talk to them in person. I would say, your vote does count. Your vote does count. And so it's important for you and I to get to the polls. If you're having a runoff election in your county, in your area, it is important that you get to the polls and that you vote. I'm going to go vote in the Court of Appeals here in Mississippi. I'm going to vote for Amy St. Pé. That's who I'm voting for. And I would encourage you to vote for Amy St. Pé as well, because I think she's as far as between her and Jennifer, I think that she is the best person for the job. And so that's why I'm voting for Amy St. Pé. But I hope all of you go and vote. Listen, now I will say this, and I know some people don't won't like to hear me say this. Even if you're not voting for the candidate that I'm voting for, I still encourage you to go vote because I think the vote is important. I think it's important for everybody to be engaged and everybody to be involved. Listen, I was encouraging, even before the election in November, I was encouraging every American to go to the polls and vote. Everybody. And I know that not everybody's going to vote for Donald Trump because that's how important I think that your vote is whenever it comes to the election. I want to show you this. I think this is probably my favorite. And this is why we got the White House and the Senate and the House. It's because we the people, we said we've had enough. We've had enough. And we fought back and we pushed back. We pushed back against a narrative that America was wanting to grasp this woke agenda. The American people said no. We pushed back against this transgender crowd that was saying that it's okay to allow children to mutilate their own bodies. And it's okay to give these children these hormone pills to help them transition. America pushed back against that. We said no. No. We the people said absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're not for that. We're not for these kids in schools taking these hormone pills. We're not for that. There's only two genders, male, female, and that was how you was born. And America pushed back against that. America pushed back against this notion that it is okay to murder a baby up to 9 months. America pushed back against this notion that it's okay to a baby to be born and to make the baby comfortable and then let them decide. That's what Governor Tim Walz wanted to do in Minnesota. Oh, he tried to lie about it on the debate stage, but we all know that he was lying, and we all know exactly what it was that he was trying to do. American people pushed back against that. We said no. The American people, we the people, we said no. We the people, we pushed back against this drag queen crowd. This crowd that's dressing in drag and going and dancing in front of our children at libraries. We pushed back against that. We the people said no. We're not for that. We are not for that. Listen, we push back against these endless wars, these wars that are happening, and wanting to send our young men and young women to these countries to die on the battlefield for what? So these Democrats and so these fat cats here can just get more money in their bank accounts so we can send billions and billions of dollars to Lewinsky in Ukraine, and that money can be funneled right back into the Democrat Party and into Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. America people said no. We the people said no. We are not for that, and we push back against that. And so to the elites in Washington, D.C., the American people have spoken. It is time for you to move out of the way and let Donald Trump get his agenda passed, and let's get these appointments whenever it is time. Let's get them confirmed so they can do their job, because that is exactly what we the people voted for. We the people voted for Donald Trump. We voted for his direction, his ideas, and that is the direction that America is headed. And that is the direction that we need to continue to go, and the elites need to get out of the way. Thank you for tuning in to God and Country. Thanks for watching. I know it's shorter today than normal, but I just wanted to jump on for just a few moments and just talk about what I think is happening in D.C. And there are elites still there that are going to try to give Donald Trump fits, that wants to try to roadblock his agenda. And we need to just keep pushing, and we need to keep fighting against people like Mitch McConnell, who wants to derail Donald Trump. It's not just the Democrat Party, and it's not just the media that have tried to derail Donald Trump, but there are some within our own party that have tried to derail Donald Trump. So thank you for tuning in to God and Country. Thanks for watching. May God continue to bless you, and may God continue to bless the great United States of America.